Aji NLTV than yide Milligram Road Kohima de ainaze. Idu Ete Coffee la founder aro CEO Lichan Humtsoe lot ainaze tailot conversation guna tala life story aro tala past idon olop hotau di guna tala entrepreneurship business tangkina success na ki ups and down face krishi du tailot conversation de ho aiwi. Welcome to NLTV, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So mon hunyan isna apni bhi Manula Janya do Pishes, do Nagaland, especially Kohima. So, can you please say something about you, about your past life,
Perhaps we'll be talking more about my past life in the course of the interview. So maybe I'll just quickly give an introduction about me. My name is Lichan. I'm married. My wife and we are blessed with a daughter. I'm an entrepreneur. I do pretty much everything and anything that is under coffee, right from plantation, nursery, research and observation, roasting, brewing, and coffee shops, and teaching and training through our coffee school that we started this year. And also recently I started a venture called Lasting Wealth. The mission of the Lasting Wealth is to reach out to 1 million lives. And it's a platform for coaching and mentorship for young and budding entrepreneurs.
So can you please like apnila professional work, apnila past professional work, like we all of Quebec to kuitu parwa?
Yeah, I mean, as far as my education background is concerned, I did microbiology and then I did my social work studies. So for a couple of years, I was a social worker. But when I came back to Nagaland, I joined the government and I worked there for 6.5 years. And along the same time, I was a professional wedding and portrait photographer for 7 years. And there was a point of time when I was picking my career in photography. So I left my day job and decided to get full-time into photography. It was just a couple of months after my marriage I did that. Then I realized again, photography was only about me, and if I talk about coffee includes pretty much everyone, right from the farmers, shipping, roasting, brewing, and there's a lot of ripple effect. Growth can happen all around. Growth can happen in our society, in our state, and that's the reason why I decided to get full-time 100% into coffee in the year 2016, 2nd of July.
So when you were doing your photography, was photography you was taking as a career or a hobby?
I was absolutely taking it as a career, like 100% full time, and that's the reason why I left my day job actually.
So can you please highlight something about the Ete Coffee?
Right, Ete Coffee. How it got started was. I was with the government for some time, and I was doing the photography. One thing that really burdened my heart was I keep hearing from my friends and even friends that are younger than me that in Nagaland we don't have any opportunity, especially in the private sector. And we are always looking for support system from parents, from the government, and we have this subsidy mindset. Every time we are looking for support from the government, we are always a whiner. We keep complaining about our system. And so it was my mission at that point of time to be self-sustained and to do away with the dependency nature of our people on the government economy. Because I believe that 99.9 we are government economy, meaning to say, one member in a family work with the government and supports the whole family. So 99.9 we are government economy dependent, and that's one of the driving forces that compelled us to say maybe we will start something on our own. So 5.5 years now of Ete Coffee till today, not in cash, not in kind, no help from the government whatsoever. And we wish to. And of course, we also seek their guidance. We also avail their technical resources wherever we can. They are a big support in that sense, but not in terms of business. And so we went on to build around the core value of Ete Coffee as justice. And so the word Ete comes from Lota tribe dialect, which is Ete, means us or ours. Reason being because Nagas, we are multi-tribal community. And so through the brand name, we would like to also advocate unity. And that's the reason why we gave the word Ete. Yeah. And so we give the tagline, Justice a Cup. And so we seek justice in 5 thematic areas. One is the farmers, because they are the integral part of the entire coffee spectrum, and we cannot allow any form of exploitation to happen. And if and wherever possible, honorably and sustainably pay them. If you are working with them, then justice has to be done in terms of their sustainability too. And that's our way of saying seeking justice for the farmers. Number 2 being the resources. Nagas, we are blessed with plenty of resources, natural resources. We keep talking about that. And even the government recognized that, my hometown, Woka, is a land of plenty. But oftentimes we fail to optimize the benefit out of the natural resources. We are happy with an outsider or some big companies buying our raw material at a cheap price, take it back, do the value addition, sell it back to us at an exorbitant rate, and we are okay with that. And so to me, that is not justice. So if we can find ways to do value addition, optimize the benefit, and in the future, if we have surplus, why not? We will start selling our raw material outside too. So it's our way of saying, let's seek justice with the way we manage and optimize our resources. Number 3, being the employee. We want to sustainably and honorably pay and employ our employees. I think being a Naga, to perhaps if there are Naga listeners out there, the challenge has always been why government job and not private. All right, I never condone anybody going for a government job. We need a lot of smart people, administrators, managers, leaders to be in the government sectors too. And so I keep encouraging people to go for a government job. But how about the private sector? People don't want to. It's also because of the status associated with it. People don't find the status positioning socially because most of the cases we are underpaid. And so underpaid is one thing, social affiliation. But also when we hire people, you see, we talk about sustainability, biodiversity, organic farm, bird-friendly, zero plastic, and all of this wonderful thing about saving the world, saving the earth. But oftentimes we sideline the people who work there. So we want to make sure our employees are sustainably and honorably employed. That's a way of saying we seek justice with the way we employ our employee. And the 4th being the employability. We also refer to this to as education, because our education system does not make us employable except for a few professional courses. And so we have this self-styled fund called EYF, Employability of Youth Fund. And this fund is how we accrue. We save up 10% of our proceeds, and that is used to sponsor young people to become employable. So currently, we have finished our 10 batches in our coffee school. Each batch, we are sponsoring people, and so that they can go and start their own coffee shop, or they can start working with existing cafes too. The idea is educate in a way they become employable. And the 5th and most important thing is the cuppa. The cup of coffee that is being served look pretty simple, but if we have to think right from the farm research level, how it's being processed, how it's being roasted, all of this, we need to follow a high standard protocol. And so at Ete Coffee, we have been sincerely following the Specialty Coffee Association protocol, which encompasses sustainability, encompasses traceability, where it has come from, how it's being done, and who is working under that industry, and how were they taken care of. And eventually, the cup that we serve is highly scientific. It's a lot of human touch, highly sustainable, transparent, and traceable. And that to us means we seek justice in the cup itself. So I think, in short, that is pretty much everything about Ete Coffee.
Okay, can you say something about coffee plantation in Nagaland?
Coffee plantation came in 80s, as we all know, under the Coffee Board of India. A lot of people consider this as a failure. A lot of people have their own definition, and I'm not an expert to comment on this, but just my understanding of it is because I think it's to do with how in the past the British, during the British Raj, for 200 years, they were kind of controlling the market of coffee. So thanks to the government of India and the Coffee Board of India, they have decentralized the coffee in 1990, which means any farmer can sell in any manner they want, to anyone they want, at any price they want, and process in the manner they desire. And I think it was, you see, like we were planting in 80s, the government were planting in 80s. And at that very point of time, it was all centralized. So yes, one is the subsidy mindset of our people, waiting for the government to come and pay us, do everything for us, and that is one reason. Another reason is because of how the entire coffee was centralized and sold only through one entity, which means the coffee has to be taken to Coffee Board of India in Bangalore or perhaps even in Guwahati, and we wait for the C price to rise, and then we sell, and then only the farmers get their return. So waiting period is a bit too long, and we don't know what price they will be selling. And it also discourages a lot of farmers because some people work so hard and bring 100 kilos. Somebody work lazily and bring 100 kilos, but are sell at the same price. And so decentralization is the best thing that has happened to us. And now, fast forward 20, 30 years later, we are really grateful to the Department of Land Resources, who have gone for a massive, huge, large-scale plantation drive in 2015. It all got started. 16 onwards, it's full on. There's a massive plantation that is going on. So, our job as private entrepreneurs, we can only complement and supplement. So what we do in Ete Coffee, we have been observing and researching for 4.5 years. We have our own nursery, we have our own observation farm. And so in our own small little way, people who come to our school, we are also educating, we are also sharing. But I must say, so far as the plantation is concerned, all credit goes to Department of Land Resources and Coffee Board of India for bringing the massive plantation 6 years ago. Yeah.
Then, sir, how do you manage to grow a good saplings and identify a good step?
You're talking about coffee saplings? Yeah, I mean, very simple actually. I would straight away say that if the nurseries are raised in the same climatic condition, that's much preferred. If I'm going to go for a plantation here in Nagaland, if the nurseries are raised here in Nagaland itself, that's the first thing. And second is, it should be matured enough before we move from the nursery, from poly bags to the field. So we are looking at least a minimum of 7 pairs, which means 14 leaves has to be sitting on the saplings. If it's too less of the leaves sitting on that sapling, then it wouldn't survive. Yeah, so those are a few things that we need to consider. And yes, if you go through Department of Land Resources or Coffee Board of India, they select the beans, they make sure they are the superior quality without any infestation. So if we source our coffee seedlings from the right source, because the Central Coffee Research Institute is there in South India, the scientists are working on it, and they produce good seedlings. So it is highly advisable that raising nurseries should start from the good seedling and sourcing, raising it in the same locality or the same region where you're going to plant, and then goes on to small little details like, having like 14 leaves sitting on the tree, on the saplings. Yeah.
Okay, sir, how do you deal with the taxation, the taxes?
I think I've heard in a lot of events that I've been in, entrepreneurial events, a lot of question has always been, I want to start a business, but because of the underground taxation, I'm not able to, I have once, on a lighter note, spoke something of how they are not taxing enough. And yes, I would not say that I know everything about the taxation that is happening in Nagaland. There are different sectors, trading, transport, a lot of other businesses that I have no idea. But so far as my business is concerned, if it is to start one coffee shop or a cafe or even a roasting company like us, I don't think we have any huge issue as such. Thanks to the social organizations like EGOUT and the associations and the public ho-hos, and even thanks to the leaders of the underground political freedom fighters who have consented to have one government, one tax. And so I think we are good with that in that sense. They don't overtax us. And besides, to an entrepreneur, if anybody out there thinking that underground taxation is the reason why you can't do business, I think it's a lie. It could be a laziness too, because if we talk about the direct taxation in the cities, in metros, we will never be able to start a business. To talk about the coffee roasting company, I can't imagine. So I think so long as this trend continues and we have this understanding between different parties, the government, our Naga freedom fighters and public, it should be fine. Yes.
Okay, then, sir, any plans or ideas to expand Ete Coffee?
We are the expansion can happen in different form, and right from the beginning, our quest has always been we are super focused on our research, observation, teaching. And yes, we have our own business going on. So even currently, we are working on our e-commerce space, and very soon we'll be launching our e-commerce space where we'll be selling our coffee across the nation. 5 years ago, we started off with this, and now we want to bring it back and we want to start selling across the nation. So that's still in the pipeline. And like I said, our expansion is also in terms of teaching. So we started our coffee school this year in the beginning, January, and we have finished 9th batches, and then we are working on next week will be the 10th batch. So we are also looking at expansion in terms of our coffee laboratory, our school, and even the e-commerce side. And yes, we also continue to work on our roastery. We are investing on new roasting machines. We are also working on the coffee shops. And our goal is also, because we always keep on saying that we want to take this Ete Coffee as a company, not just associated with one person or a group of people, but we want to call it like a community brand. And this is the very reason why we started the school. And the idea of the school is so that when a tourist comes, when a visitor comes, they reach our city and they go, where can I get good coffee? Which shop? But instead of that, you reach Kohima, you reach Nagaland, you walk into any coffee shop, they should be doing good coffee, Naga coffee. And so we would like to see Naga coffee as a brand. And so we are looking at expansion in terms of even our consultancy services. We're giving a free consultancy service, which is to help entrepreneurs like us to start coffee shop from the scratch. How it's the specification, the design, procurement of the machine, training. So we are also looking at an expansion in terms of complementing with other businesses besides our own coffee shops.
Can you please talk about the new venture, as you have mentioned earlier?
The new venture that I was talking about is called Lasting Wealth, a wealth that will last. So we are not working on the wealth that is only for you and me, and for ourselves, but even for our children and their children, meaning for the next generation. And in order to do this, we need to really redefine the narrative of looking at wealth, money, riches. And this is why we are on a mission to reach out to 1 million lives. I happen to come from not so privileged family, and I've also had my own shares of struggles. For instance, I started my Ete Coffee using just 6,400 rupees roasting at my own kitchen apartment, and I was one-man army for 1 solid year. And slowly, where we are today, thanks to my team, thanks to God, we are able to come this far. And in the journey of these 5.5 years as an entrepreneur, I have had bad times, good times, and I feel like there'll be a lot of people out there who also is experiencing the similar life like me, and I want to reach out to them. And so this is like Lasting Well is a platform for coaching and mentorship. We have programs like Set in Motion program. It's a 6-month program. People can register and enroll, and basically I will personally sit with them and guide them through for next 6 months. Basically, how I see entrepreneurship, and so we're looking for basically young and budding entrepreneurs. And this whole idea or the vision and the venture is fueled by the book that I'm writing. It's called Eons of Inertia. So this Eons of Inertia is like there are inertias in our life, a state where it's a tendency to do nothing and remain unchanged. And there are a lot of inertia, billions of them in our life. And so Eons of Inertia is basically to understand what are the inertia in our lives. Is it laziness? You see, when we see laziness, we think that I'm not lazy. But, something like a wishful thinking, living in a fantasy world, it's also laziness. Ambitious thinking. Sometimes being ambitious, we think that we are not lazy. For instance, my business is too big, my idea is too big, so I'm waiting for a big capital to happen somehow. And you have been procrastinating for years and years and years, delaying. And we don't realize this, but this is another form of laziness. And religious thinking. For us Christians, unfortunately, sometimes we misunderstand the whole idea of our faith. We do little and we expect miracles to happen, right? So it is also a reminder through this book and through this venture to understand the whole idea of spirituality and being religious. So, and then comes this dry conditioning, a condition where educational, religious, and social conditioning of the idea of how we are conditioned to think and look at money as bad, evil. I wouldn't say every preacher preached that way, but somehow we misunderstood how it's being preached, in the sense money, rich people means sinner, poor means good people. From the movies and novels, good people means poor, the hero is poor, and the villain is always rich. And so we have been looking at rich, wealth, all money and all of these as sin. But we tell our children to have more money, meaning to have more sins. And even the education, sometimes even in the religious gathering, we either we are preaching it wrong or sometimes we understand it wrong. Because the danger of human mind is we tend to see, understand, and receive it the way we want it. And this is the very reason why this conditioning is not allowing us to step up, to take up entrepreneurial ventures. And so this book touches upon different form of inertias that stops you, the conditioning that we have, and understand all of this, how to find the torque and break the inertia, gain attraction, gain the first initial momentum, and start your business. And once you gain the momentum, oftentimes we are not designing the system and processes in place. And for this very reason, we think that we are doing so well. We are growing exponentially as a business. I call this coast inertia because we don't realize, we think we are doing well, but we are headed to the wrong direction. And so this entire venture is about helping a million life like me who come from a less privileged family and who have idea and wanting to turn into action. The book kind of fills up this entire venture. And so that's about the new venture that I am in. And my book will be launched hopefully very soon.
Okay, sir. And as a successful entrepreneur and a businessman, sir, do you have any message for young Naga youths to be a successful and a serious person in life, to tackle all the ups and downs life, to be a successful business or entrepreneurship? Do you have any message for the young Naga youths?
I mean, I'm burdened, and I have a message for all of us, perhaps, and that is basically, to stop complaining about the existing environment we are in, the existing system, the electricity, the water, the transport. We keep whining and we keep complaining, saying that we don't have the money passed down to us by our parents. We don't have the government to support us. We keep whining. We are very dramatic in our own way, actually. So instead of that, I want each of us to step up and start adding value to yourself by way of learning from people who have gone ahead of you. It's for free. By watching YouTube videos and learn something new, build up a new set of skills, soft skills, communication skills, sales skill, read books, and find God, and invest in yourself first, and put on some value, and that will be the time when you will understand that you don't need money to make money. Because like I always say, if you don't know how to make money without money, you will never be able to make money even if you have a lot of money. And so it is my challenge to all of us to stop complaining about the negative circumstances and situation around us and start building positivity within us and help each other grow. And I guess that's my message for everyone out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best for your future, sir.